Draw in my hand. Only fear is my opponents play droplet, and the draw is very game changer. I think in this game, my board is very hard to break under draw.
Yes.
And Yumi is very anti-action card
Yes.
game and very.
And then, yeah, I mean, in game 3, essentially, for a minute we thought, okay, maybe Brandad has a good start, because I think you only had Veiler, right?
Yeah, I forgot.
You forgot, I know.
Domsburg.
Yeah, it's not really good. I know.
Get,
I know. So essentially, here Brandad goes for the combo.
Yeah.
He especially manages to go for the Varudras, but passes. So it didn't have a great hand, you know?
Yeah, and I have their winning. For me, it's a limit happy for this little board because I have a clean board with Fian Smith and no entrap because bridge in the Yumi, gel literary board, no draw for my opponent. I have Caesar, I have...
you have Dark Lurer, you also had Lightning Storm, so I think the hand was very good.
Yeah, very good.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it paid off because essentially it's what led you to win the game. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, essentially this is the moment where Brandon didn't have anything left essentially on the field. So 12-3, you were telling me before this, this is your first...
It's my first European Championships and my first day too on a major event, and very happy. And
so perhaps we will see you on top 8. Hopefully, we have to see, you know, with the other matches, double losses. We have to see a little bit, you know, how it goes. Still incredible result, I have to say. So congratulations, it was great to see you on stream. So hopefully we will see you again. But you know, congratulations for the result and for being with us. Guys, don't go anywhere because Genesis is live. So let's go back to the Backup Future match.
Yeah, usually you could see, for example, Richard was being super quick with deciding because you have your pre-made plans, right? Of course, you can't take a sheet of paper to the table where it says this on there, but you can just have your pre-made plans in mind, citing patterns that have to be memorized before the tournament. But sometimes you're playing versus different odd strategies, perhaps, and there your choices aren't as clear anymore. Maybe you have a side deck plan for Sacred Beast, maybe you have one for Blitzclique. But what are you doing if you're playing a combo wombo? Do you side in everything? Do you have enough cards to side out for everything?
Yeah, very good point. You do have to sort of think what's going to hit the most general things here. And I think it can be difficult to make those plans and get those correct plays in order. But I think that does come down to deck building. You have to make sure your side deck is prepared for everything in that situation.
And honestly, that is incredibly hard in tournaments like this, because in Genesis, every single deck is basically different, right? There's so many different decks. We had Dark Lords on top of Swiss facing Labyrinth. Side for all of those.
Absolutely. I think we do see the players shuffling their decks after siding here, and we are ready to move on to Game 3.
All right, who's going to advance to the finals? There's a lot on the line because the top 2 players,
Jonas and Richard here, are going to be having a rather difficult game for this Game 3. Just a last bit of pile shuffling there for Jonas and getting ready before we move on to this game proper.
Sorry, I had a small coughing fit. The last 2 players standing in this tournament are going to go to the Japan 2, to the Jump Festa. Of course, other prizes as well, but this big journey is definitely something you do not want to miss out on. So whoever wins goes to Japan. Will also receive full sets of some of the latest additions to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG.
Absolutely. I want to go to Japan. Why can't I go, you know? Because I didn't enter?
Play better.
I'm trying. But we see them a last shuffle here before we get started on this last game of this match.
Very sure that Richard is going to start 60 card decks. Sometimes they just are unstoppable, but sometimes they also have no way to play. Which one's it gonna be?
Yeah, very good point. It is the issue with 60 card decks full of engine like that. However, it is just kind of two separate engines, so it's not as if it's 60 cards of like a little bit of this, a bit of that, comboing a bunch of stuff. It's just this and that, and it's all of everything. So it's actually kind of a lot of different ways you can start playing here.
It does sound quite consistent, actually. Starting off with a breakaway, that on its own does very, very little. However, Alternator with another card together is already sounding a lot better. So we are, for costs, shuffling the Whisker away. Oh, I am seeing some side deck cards in the hand of Jonas. That is one powerful side deck card, let me tell you.
Absolutely. And we are adding... Oh, that's how that works. We add the Haman to hand because it's a Thundermaster we can add off of Alternator. That's really cool. I've just realized that that's how you make that work. It's been a long day. So we see that cool combination here, that bridge. Haman's effect to add the Sacred Beast released from the deck to the hand here as well by revealing and discarding, I believe.
Yep, and the release is going to resolve. Not enough points for some cards that could stop this easily. So this card, love the artwork, by the way.
All the artwork is phenomenal, I have to say. It looks so, so good. I think my favorite's got to have to be Uriah because it was amazing. We see that resolving, as you say, and we're moving into this revealing or adding the three, I should say. So we're adding the Creator of the Martyr and the Summoner of the Martyr and Raviel, and discarding two cards here. We have a 7th Ascension and a Trap. I think that's a Typhoon.
It is a Typhoon, and if you're about to full combo, I don't think you need a Typhoon.
No, not at all. And at this stage, you'd expect to be able to full combo because you played through a good few points where you would expect to have met some form of interaction here, actually. So we're going to go here for... just thinking about what he's going to move for here. Got a few ways that we can play, considering either the Martyr or the Raviel, it seems.
But you could also see, I think, a little bit of fear in Richard's eyes when he activated that Alternator and shuffled back the Whisker, because I think a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit would have really done some damage there.
Absolutely. I think we needed to access the Sacred Beast engine here, and thankfully we were able to. And we do see the Crackle being revealed here from Jonas's hand, destroying that Martyr and stopping it from being able to stick onto the field here.
We're getting access to the Sacred Beast Thunderclap. That card, obviously, as we've seen time and time again, is going to replace itself. Or not replace itself, but it's just going to activate more copies of itself. So this card, the primary way to summon out a Harmon.
Yeah, I think it activates 3 Sacred Beast spells from the deck, so it's the other 2 and the field spell as well, which is why it's so, so powerful in this strategy, because that field spell is insane. Again, this deck just pluses and just keeps gaining advantage off of every single play. It's so hard to stop them once they start going, because they just have so many cards and so much advantage to be able to keep playing the game.
It's so crazy. How many free cards can you get of basically nothing? Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast, also an incredibly powerful field spell. But speaking of incredibly powerful field spells, there is a card in hand for Jonas that is going to see the daylight now, and that is Vados. We have had Crackle, we have Vados. We're summoning it over to our opponent's side of the field. We're giving him a big body that is, luckily enough, not a level 10 monster.
Yeah.
But we are taking away the Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast. Oh, and that, of course, is going to trigger the Crackle that we have used before on the Martyr. So we are actually setting up our own turn already. Also, I think we could use Alternator, unless it's only on your own turn, to search for a Spell and Trap card. For a quick second, I thought you could search Whisker. That would be completely broken.
That would be kind of insane. I think there are those synergies between the decks. I think there are these little synergies here and there that just make both decks work together so well, and surprisingly well, I'd say. I don't know that anyone really had this combination of cards on their radar, and yet here we are in the top 4 match here. Ricard with a single loss, 12 wins to 1 loss, and clearly it works phenomenally well.
And I think right now Jonas is looking at the second Vados in hand, and he is thinking to himself, or he's reading, can I do this? Can I do this twice? Can I actually do this one more time this turn, because if a hideout in the sky column is being activated, that is also a little bit troubling. That is the biggest problem with playing against these double engine decks. That is, if you stop one engine and you would have completely out hand trapped it, sometimes they just throw another starter of a completely different deck at you and then they combo off there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does seem Vedos is only once per turn there. So I don't think we're going to be able to get the second usage of that card out here.
But setting up a Vedos already on your opponent's turn is kinda massive, because this card, when it gets removed from the field, it is going to blow up everything.
What level's Vedos? 10?
9.
9. Varudras would have been really cool to use someone with Vedos there.
Yeah, that's what I meant, because this is luckily not level 10,
Yeah,
because giving it
yeah.
over to your opponent, that would be basically an issue. If this card is removed, you also, everything on the field is going to blow up, and that is so strong.
We do see the breakaway being added to Jonas' hand here as well.
Yeah.
Back into this Blitzclique strategy that has proven itself to be so powerful this weekend, both in Genesis and also put up a very good showing in Advanced Constructed as well.
That is true. We had some pretty strong players for quite some time. Oh, and Yugioh is going to pop the Alternator. Alternator is going to activate. You can get a hideout in the sky. This one is now protected from Column just because, or from Vedos, because it can't be Vedos twice. You cannot use this card more than once per turn. I'm still quite curious to see how strong the graveyard effect of Vedos ends up being.
Yeah, absolutely. It may cause some real issues here. If it destroys the entire field as well, might even cause issues for both of the opponents in this situation.
I mean, we are already setting up an out to the situation rather early with the hideout, or with the breakaway that we have added, so we can add back Crackle to hand and destroy the Vedos. But of course there is Varudras, the final bringer of end times. So this one is also now protecting from potential hand traps, and not only that, also from the breakaway in the next turn.
Using the Kowloon City, the hideout in the sky Kowloon here as well. I keep getting the name wrong on that one.
That is super fine.
Going to be adding I believe that's the Surge, I think that's going to be, but just considering which one we're going to go for here as well.
It looks like Surge.
Yeah.
She reminds me of Ray a little bit.
I see that, yeah, I can see that. Still just considering our move, and yes, seems to be the Surge be added to hand here at this moment in time.
So, Surge is added. We have resolved that now fully. Now I think we're going to start perhaps with destroying the Crackle. Exactly, we want to take away resources. We want to take away the breakaway pop that is possible. Of course, you have started the turn with breakaway. Player like Richard does not forget about his potential triggers, no matter how many minutes they have been away from you. And now, Grain, of course, even if your Sacred Beast combo gets stopped, quote unquote, because honestly there is a Varudras.
Plenty enough there at this point, yeah.
He put down a Varudras through the Crackle plus Vedos combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see that Grain using the effect and adding that Whisker to hand as well. Again, this is such a difficult matchup here for Jonas to be dealing with. He's done his best to try and interact as best he can during this turn, but at this point I believe he will be starting out with a 4-card hand in his opening turn, which is going to be rather an uphill battle to get through this field here.
This deck is completely insane. Don't get me. I think you should run this in the main event, because we have had successful players with Sacred Beast, and we have had successful players with Blitzclique already in the main event. So I think a bunch of those we're going to see in top 64 later on. Now Whisker is being summoned from hand, only summoning one, and he is popping the Vedos, and now of course Vedos can trigger, so Richard can negate it with the Varudras. Now chaining one is Grain, of course, as a trigger, because it's on his own turn, and then the Whisker also takes care of it. You don't want to detach anything from that Varudras just yet.
Oh, that's really a very intelligent play, you know, to cycle your own resources in a way that maybe your opponent wasn't expecting here as well, because I'm sure that Jonas was waiting on that Vedos being an issue here, but destroying it yourself and dealing with it in such a way that actually you seem to plus off of it is really impressive.
And 2 more set cards. This is through 2 hand traps to Vados and Crackle. This is basically more than the full Blitzclique field. That is higher than the ceiling of Jonas' entire deck. He has Whisker, he has a Surge good setup, he has Varudras and 2 set cards, one of which is very likely to be Breakaway. Does Jonas have anything to answer this with? And most importantly, where are you even starting? If you have a Lava Golem, probably Varudras and Whisker.
Yep.
There it is.
Bang on the money there, Leo. Getting rid of those 2 massive threats from the field with that Lava Golem. Yet again, a favorite in this game, it seems, of both players.
Because you don't really need your normal summon all the time. That is the beauty of that deck. Now Jonas is using the Breakaway, and the question now that I'm asking myself is, or we're activating Alternator, is Alternator going to immediately search us something, or are we waiting for Jonas to commit into the field and then possibly search something like an Yugioh? I think we've revealed the grain, and this one is then going to search for the Emi. So we are going to pop the token, and that seems like, oh yeah, of course, we pop the token, so we use the Surge. Surge is going to get us Whisker. Of course, we can chain block that with a Breakaway from the graveyard, and then after everything, we just have the same exact setup that we had before the Lava Golem, minus the Varudras.
That really is impressive. It turns the Lava Golem into essentially just a Kaiju, which is, I guess, not nothing, but it has taken down the impact rather drastically from what we were expecting it to be.
This deck is hilarious. The Blitzclique cards, they are just so incredibly resilient whenever your opponent throws something at you. Because I think in this format, there's also not that much destruction protection.
I don't think so at all. It probably exists, but I don't think we have anything here at this current moment, at the very least. This is more than an uphill battle at the moment for Jonas. This is seeming very difficult. Both players dealing the best they can in the situation, but it's not going to be easy.
It's looking like it's an up-mountain battle for Jonas, if you can say that, because he has to play versus the infinite engine of Blitzclique, and the big question is, how many interruptions are there still? Alternator is a fantastic card, but it also has some limitations.
Yeah, that it does. Activating that from the deck with the Breakaway here. Really trying to see how Jonas is going to pull it out the bag here.
Jonas with a phenomenal run at the, I think, last Austrian Open in Vienna. Was one of the top 4 there. Very, very strong player from a region in southern Germany.
Richard checking his graveyard here as well. Just making sure he's not missed anything by the looks of things. We're seeing Jonas considering, as he's searching his deck, what would be best to go for. I believe that could be a Surge being added to hand here by the looks of things.
Yeah. Basically everything starts with the Surge. Now the big question. Oh, Grain popped the Alternator. Now that is rather interesting, since we have already used Breakaway. So how useful is the Grain Surge anyways if we are prioritizing this over summoning the Surge first? However, we could use Alternator, the last one we have used in the first turn of Richard.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we are able to get the effect of the Breakaway out here as well, down back to hand maybe, but we are getting the Surge here to summon itself to the field.
Do like that we haven't used Breakaway immediately, just because we can chain block later.
Absolutely, 100%. We see that destroying the Lava Golem here, just summon itself to the field and gain hopefully some effects here. I think we are using the Chaining 1 Grain, Chaining 2 Breakaway by the looks of things here.
Very smart move of Jonas to target the Lava Golem with the Surge effect, because otherwise, if there is a return stroke set for Richard, he could just chain that. If he targeted Emi or Surge, the card wouldn't have been destroyed, and then there wouldn't have been a summon from hand of a Blitzclique monster. Therefore, it wouldn't have been a Surge summon, and then you can just pack it up anyways.
Yeah, absolutely correct there. Adding an alternative back to your own hand for Richard there here as well. And I think to negate that Grain, because I don't think that cares about chain blocking.
No, I think he has just okayed the... Oh no, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think that is just negating a card on the field and not activate the last activated effect, if I'm not much mistaken. So that is, we have another Vados here. Whether or not this is going to be enough remains to be seen, but it does at least hit the field.
Now Richard still does have a Whisker in hand, and now it is possibly the right timing for Richard. There's still priority on the side of Jonas with the trigger of Surge, and Richard actually lets that go through. If Jonas decides to bring out his own Whisker to destroy the Vados on the side of Richard, Richard can answer with his own Whisker to make sure that... Oh no, I think Jonas could chain block this. I think this is a commanding spot for Jonas actually, with another Vados on the field, because if Richard sets up a Whisker to take care of the Vados effect... Oh no, he has used the breakaway already.
Do we maybe just let the Vados resolve and then Whisker afterwards?
That is also an option, yeah. But then Whisker has nothing to bounce back.
I see.
We have another monster in hand, perhaps a Thunder Monster.
Yeah.
But Charles, I don't know whether we can actually chain block the Vados in our graveyard.
We have our own Whisker here for Jonas inside of the field here as well. Added to the hand off of the Surge there.
The Surge.
The Surge. Very good.
Jonas showing, hey, if I stop your crazy engine of the Sacred Beast, I actually can play the Blitzclique mirror like it's a normal one. Let me tell you something, I am a master of the grind game. So Jonas now access to another breakaway perhaps, right? Or we are searching for the step leader because we do not have that one in rotation yet. She gets another hideout in the sky.
Absolutely.
Activating that one. And what we could now do... Is he... Maybe I'm tunneling too much into the idea of chain blocking the Vados, because it also basically destroys every card that he has set up.
Yeah.
But
I think it is an interesting thought process to try and figure out how to make it work, but it is also... Can you chain block it? And even if you can't, is it the end of the world? Is that what you want to negate here? Again, I think it might be the case of using the Whisker afterwards, maybe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that.
the thing is, you can now add Emi, affect Emi, pop your own hideout in the sky, and then you could Whisker to destroy... Oh, we have popped the breakaway, the set breakaway. Emi is a very, very versatile card. And we have already triggered all of our monsters here, so there is no more extra effects to be gained from this. And now this is some Emi on Emi action, taking out the defense position Emi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only 300, should have summoned an attack position. Are we ever whiskering here? And of course, yeah, there is a Kulum on the side of Jonas, so he can actually just in the Surge Mirror attack over the Blitzclique Surge.
He's very interesting. I'm a bit quiet because I'm just trying to figure out like what. This is a difficult game state for I think both players to navigate well, because that Vados is there almost literally like a ticking time bomb, and I think both players are having to really try and figure out how best to play around it, because I think both of them could use their advantage in this situation.
I think that is so interesting here, because Jonas just basically says, okay, I'm just going to set a card now, and you know what? If you are extending too much in your turn, I am going to try to destroy the Vados and take care of this situation myself. Now Richard on the other side also kind of does have some agenda, but I need to read the Vados again, because if this is an optional effect, then Richard has no agenda over the Vados.
We do see that Whisker being activated here during the end phase, I believe.
Optional.
Optional, interesting. Destroying the breakaway to summon itself to the field and get that hidden hideout in the Sky Column and the, I believe, breakaway back to hand by the looks of things here.
So, how can Jonas actually still Does he have access to a Crackle? I think the only monster he has in his hand is... The only monster that he has in his hand is the Whisker. And getting that Whisker life is not that easy. Of course, now we got in a little bit of a destruction effect from Emi. So we actually search for the return stroke. However, in the end phase, that does not help us that much. But now we are using the Whisker ourselves to pop the Whisker of Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Emi on Emi. Now it's Whisker on Whisker, just getting that sort of the mirrored versions of themselves destroyed during Jonas' end phase here. Richard starting off his turn. I think we all thought it might have been curtains for Jonas here, but he's done a stellar job in pulling back from where he was at the start of his turn as well.
I mean, it's still going to be hard for him to interact with his opponent because I think he can just turn that Vados into attack position and attack over the Emi. That makes the Whisker effect much less threatening. Because if you activate any monster effect and then Jonas just says, hey, you know what, Whisker, bounce back my Emi for cost, Emi is going to trigger, summon itself back, destroy a card on the field. That is going to trigger Grain and Surge and the Breakout as well. If you even want that, you're going to get access to another Whisker that is going to be live immediately as well. You can summon that Whisker, pop something, for example the Vados, when your opponent tries to extend more into the field, and then you can trigger Vados and Chainlink to Breakaway.
Yeah, we see as well here the Sacred Beast released from the graveyard effect, adding that Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder from the deck to the hand, activating the effect to reveal it, to add, I guess, another one of those cards to the hand as well. Why would you not? It's add 3, it's very powerful. We're going to be searching for another Sacred Beast released to add to the hand here.
Richard hasn't really found his way through all of these Sacred Beast cards, so it does not feel like the engine is really running right now. However, even if he gets 2 level 10s onto the field, Varudras has already been gone through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting place for Richard to be in at the moment. It might be that he's trying to bait out interactions on the Sacred Beast. It is they kind of force interactions because on the field they are really, just them in and of themselves, are a very powerful presence.
Yeah.
So if you have to interact to stop that, you might run out of interactions to stop the Blitzclique cards.
Sometimes I forget that having a monster with 4,000 attack points is...
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the game is so centered around the first turn and setting up a good field and then perhaps winning with that sometimes just having battle phases is something that you overlook.
I mean, they do also have powerful effects as well. So you got that to remember, where you can just leave them on your field at the end of your turn, and that's enough sometimes to get you to your next turn, because they themselves are no slouches in that department. Adding the Martyr, the Raviel, and the Hamon to hand and discarding one of the...
Thunderclap and a Hideout.
And a Hideout, yeah.
Because Hideout, of course, you can just add back if you destroy something with a Blitzclique effect. And that already should be a warning signal for Jonas, because that means that Richard is planning on destroying some cards, no matter what happens.
Oh, we see the search here coming out for the Thunder King. The words Thunder King, the Lightning Strike card will be added to the hand.
Wow.
Going to be able to quickly remove the favorite threat here for Richard.
Thunder King, the Kaiju is so strong onto the Whisker. So that is going to take away the interruption, and most importantly, it is going to really stop Jonas' engine from working. However, I do think that the Blitzclique monsters, I really need to fact check this before I say this. We've seen this before, also trigger on destruction of something else.
I believe at least some of them do, if not all of them.
Yeah, if another card is destroyed by a card effect, something like Surge, they trigger. So Richard has to pay a lot of attention on what he does with his own Blitzclique cards before he pops off and then pops one card, destroys one card on accident, and then Surge says, hey, I'm going to get a Whisker back. Whisker is going to destroy 3 cards of yours, and then I'm going to trigger my Vados and Chainlink 1, the Breakaway that I still have in the graveyard on Chainlink 2, add that back, get more resources, you destroy everything on the field, you have overcommitted, and then it's Jonas' turn again. So he has to be incredibly careful of how he uses his Blitzclique cards.
Yeah, very true here. We see the, I think, is it discard 3?
Yeah.
adding that Raviel back to the hand here. Again, just 4,000 attack. It's not nothing. It's something to be respected, I have to say.
And he just summoned it because of the Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast.
Yeah.
And that is already setting up quite some damage. This one actually even runs over that Thunder Kaiju. So we are in a sublime position to just attack. But I think that he can actually just play a little bit more.
Send 3 monsters here to summon the Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder as well. Then tributing to offer the effect of Raviel to remove the field. And that is it for Jonas, it seems. We saw the handshake.
Infinity of the Sacred Beast, Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, actually gets Richard to Japan to the Jump Faster with the effect destroying 4 cards, destroying everything on Jonas' side, getting up to 8,000 attack points with a Sacred Beast. That is true Yu-Gi-Oh! Poetry.
Absolutely. Again, the GX fanboy in me is very happy to see these cards doing so well in any given format and piloted expertly by Richard here. An absolute pleasure to see this game get played out from start to finish. We are going to throw it over now to a short break before we move over to the next match.
TS competitor and European champion Samir Bashar in the finals. Tom could not overcome Samir's creative sprite deck and his double copies of Kurikara Div Incarnate and lost the first big finals of his career. Still living on the pressured planet Radzov, Tom entered the German nationals that year and naturally, almost like a tradition, made Top Cut, where Dinkabui awaited him again, this time in the finals. This match was a back and forth in game 1 and 2 with both duelists displaying the absolute world-class level gameplay. But in game 3, an Eradicator epidemic virus infested the planet Radzov and took Tom's entire hand turn 1, making him unable to play the game and forcing him to concede yet another big final. But these losses never broke Tom. He rose from it like a phoenix from the ashes and continued to perform and dominate competitions. Fast forward to 2025. The EUWCQ took place in Berlin, and Tom was dedicated to reach the final goal of every Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, reaching the World Championships. He piloted a combo-heavy strategy in Mitsurugi Raziel Fiendsmith and made it to top 8 with only 2 losses in Swiss. Then he was facing Giuseppe Frossi in the deciding qualifier match. In an absolute nail-biter, he kept his composure and defeated Giuseppe in Game 3, going second in dramatic fashion. He finally reached his goal of qualifying for the World Championships. For Paris, Tom prepared with his friend and competitor, Johannes Bauer. They both made the incredible deck choice of Lunar Light, which they piloted to great success. Nobody expected this deck at the World Championships, so getting to summon out Lunar Light Liger Dancer felt like an instant win condition versus many decks. Going through Swiss in a breeze, the German finds himself in the top 8 of the World Championships. His first opponent of Day 2, Felipe, piloted the Yummy deck, which could in Game 3 not overcome the offensive pressure of Lunar Light, combined with the defensive effect of number 41 Baguska, the terribly tired Tapir. In the semifinals, a prize card secured, Tom faced a fellow European, Rosalie Angelica Torkilsen, who also brought in a unique deck choice, the fan-favorite strategy of Sky Striker. While Rosalie was aware that her matchup versus Lunar Light is not the easiest, she managed to set up a strong enough field in Game 1, but folded to a Drolan Lockbird and Liger Dancer in Games 2 and 3. Finally, Tom finds himself on top of the very mountain he's tried to climb for so many years, the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships final. His opponent? Julien Cajon, the unstoppable French force from North America. After the first incredibly sweaty 2 games, Julien goes first again. Full combos with his Vanquish Soul K9 deck and uses his Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger effect to find the one card that stops Tom Kleinegräber from becoming world champion. Drolan Lockbird. He cannot clear his opponent's field and forfeits the game, finishing as the world's runner-up in 2025. Tom Kleinegräber's story is the proof that you need that dreams can come true if you just work hard enough. If you want to become the next champion, find your next official tournament store and start playing.
Here at our live coverage, we have a little bit of a tradition where all of the casters take their pick on what they believe is going to be the winning deck for the weekend. Now, it's quite a wide measure at the moment. There's some usual decks that we're seeing. I'm going to choose something a little bit aside from what I assume the others are going to pick. I'm going to go for Sky Strikers because I've always liked the Sky Striker deck, but also I'm taking that away from Leo so he can't pick it because I know it's a deck he loves very well. Let's see if I'm going to be right at the end.
So my prediction for the European Championship, it is branded. I think it's one of those strategies that can definitely be more surprising to an event and in a tournament, and I definitely believe that you have to respect the Albaz and always count on him.
My personal pick for the deck that could win the European Championship has to be Magister's Fairy Tale. Now, that is a deck that had a lot of favour earlier in this format, and I think could really take some players by surprise. It plays so well through hand interactions and actually doesn't care that much about field breakers all the time. I think it's a really powerful pick and could take a lot of players by surprise.
So my prediction for the tournament is going to be Blitzclique. I really feel like the deck, it's super consistent, and on the other side, it can catch really our players off guard. I really expect a lot of Brander, a lot of Kill Tune, and the deck is very good at going second. He has a very solid strategy, and I really feel like we will be seeing some, especially in the top cut. So that is my prediction, and hopefully we'll get to see more Blitzclique in action.
The deck I think is going to win is Ryziel Blitzclique. I think it's rather new, so people don't really know what it does, where to interrupt it, and it has some really niche applications in the meta. So I think Whisker and the gang, they're going to take it down.
How about Radiant Typhoon? I know that deck hasn't been super popular lately, but hear me out. Going for a big combo on the first turn, possibly going through double Enter Bloodnir and maybe getting 2 cards from your opponent's hand out of the equation into a field with a lot of breaking cards. I could see it happening. I know it's not the most likely, but in my heart I kind of want to see it happening. So let's see whether it turns out winning.
The deck that I believe is going to win this event is going to be the Light and Darkness Ritual deck. Very, very explosive, being utilized from the brand new Chaos Origin set. I feel that it has a credible balance of power and control, and hopefully we're going to be seeing one of our duelists using that as the winning deck.
So since I'm picking last, the deck that's going to win the European Championship, my very generous colleagues left me what I believe will be the most represented, Cool Tune. So I'm just going to go with it, and let's see how it goes. Thank you.
So those are our caster predictions, but which deck do you think is going to win? Let us know on social media or in the chat, and we'll all find out together. Stick around, we've got loads more great coverage coming your way.
I would like to ask, how do you feel for the next YCS being in Paris?
It's really cool. I've never been to Paris, so I'd love to go see the city and play the event.
I feel like it's very interesting because France has a lot of players in general, and for us, like me, Spanish players, we have it near to Spain, so we can travel probably to it. And being the last World Championship there is like a special place for next one.
I'm really hyped. I look forward.
Very excited because I'm French, because it's at home, so very excited to play it.
That's fine because it's near from Germany, we can drive with the car. Yes, it's good.
Secondly, if you were to win YCS Paris, which giant card would you choose?
The giant card that I think I would choose might be a giant card Sunseed Genius Loci. I spent a lot of time playing Plant, so that card's like, I really like that card. So
probably choose Mycelensaurus, the dinosaurs, because I really like dinosaurs. I'm good dinosaurs player, so.
Diablo Star.
I would choose the Black Duster Soldier, the new. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah.
Many people will hate me, but I would like a giant shifter.